What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here. Today we are back for another car vlog. Now, my last car vlog was, as you could say, it was a little bit, is slightly unplanned and a little bit all over the place, kind of the same way this one is. But no, my last car vlog, I actually did with a friend of mine. Again, you guys remember probably with the Volkswagen Jetta and everything like that. And that vlog went over really, really well. You guys seemed to really, really like that vlog. But you did remind me of something that I completely forgot to do in that video, was that I did not show you guys an actual walk around of the car with the new coilovers. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing in this vlog, but not just one of the not just the only thing. In this vlog, we're going to be talking about all of the different events I'm scheduled to go to in spring, my plans for spring, and a little acceleration. Anyway, not accelerating too hard. It's still kind of, it's still not warmed up yet. But either way, the plans for spring are actually including multiple things. There's a lot of events I'm scheduled to go to, and I'm hoping to make it out to all of them. There are a couple that I'm going to try my hardest to go to, like I'm pretty much confirmed to go to. And one of them is Import Alliance from March, I believe. It's the 28th and 29th in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, there's going to be a couple of cool things happening at Import Alliance. There's going to be obviously just the meet itself, hopefully being able to meet up with you guys, and hopefully filming some stuff with David Patterson as well. We've talked about it, and hopefully, like I said, we'll be doing some stuff together when it comes time for Import Alliance. And I'm talking about kind of car vlogs together, that kind of stuff, and hopefully that ends up coming through like I plan on. Now, we've also got a couple of other events scheduled. We've got the second annual Twins on the Dragon, which is basically FRSs and BRZs on the tail of the Dragon. Now, that event, I did not get to go to it last year, and I'm really hoping I actually get to go to it this year, because, number one, I actually have not run my car on the tail of the Dragon before. It's definitely a road that I've been really excited to go to, and, oh my god, Jeep Grand Cherokee just went past with, like, peeling paint, and it couldn't have been any older than, like, an 08 or 09 model, and the paint is, like, peeling off the side. Either they really mistreated that thing, or it just had a terrible paint job from the factory. But besides Import Alliance and the second annual Twins on the Dragon, there is also, let's see, what else is there? In May, I know for sure, in May, I really want to try to get to Formula Drift, because Formula Drift is actually coming back to Road Atlanta in May. And again, like I said, really excited about that. I did not get to go last year because things were like just extremely busy last year, and they're still extremely busy this year. Don't get me wrong, I'm not any less busy, but I'm just trying to make my schedule work a little bit better and figure things out just a little bit better as far as my schedule goes. But as far as going to Formula Drift, I really want to go. I really want to plan it out so I can go. And again, hopefully I meet some of you guys there. Anybody coming? Don't think so. Come on then. There you go. Radar detector's going off like crazy. Let's roll the windows down and give you guys a little acceleration under this bridge, shall we? And go. Hopefully you guys heard that. It sounded pretty beast in here. But, well, and the interior of my car smells like diesel now because there's a Duramax in front of me. Funny thing is, the last time I did a vlog and I went under that bridge, there was a Duramax in front of me at the same spot, which is weird. I don't know what about this bridge attracts Chevy Duramax trucks, but it's odd. Very weird. Now, the other big thing I wanted to talk about is turbocharging. Now, I teased a little bit at the end of my last car vlog that I wanted to actually turbocharge my car soon, and the big thing with that was the shop I was originally talking about in the last video. I was kind of, I don't know, kind of changing my mind, and I was kind of investigating other things, and I think I've found the exact people I want to go with to do the build, people I want to go with to do the dyno tuning, and my plan actually to show you guys the build is to be able to show you guys where the car is before it goes in for the build, maybe halfway through the build, and then again I want to show you guys at the end the dyno tuning, obviously the final dyno results. My goal is right at 300 rear wheel horsepower. That's what I want to push for, 300 rear wheel horsepower on a single turbo setup, probably running about 9 psi, no more than 10 psi. I really do not want to run any more than 9 or 10 psi because of two reasons. This car is a daily driver, and this car is my only car. So I want to do a very reliable, very focused, very reliable, very well built, solid, reliable setup for, obviously, that applies to daily driving, mountain runs, whatever you'd want to do with it, you know, or blowing the rear tires into smoke in second gear, whatever it is you're wanting to do with it. And I feel like 9 to 10 psi is a really good range to try and make that happen. Now, the stuff I really want to show you guys in the build is obviously the dyno runs, the final dyno runs. That's going to be sweet. Now, the car is most likely going to be getting sent to Atlanta for the actual build to get done. And how we've kind of led up to this is I've done a few things to the car that I kind of felt comfortable with doing myself. I've done all the suspension, the coilovers. I've done wheels and tires. I've done, let's see, what else have I done? I've done a few other things just to make the car a little bit, just kind of get it ready. And a lot of people are saying I need to do, I mean, yes, before you get crazy about the fact that I didn't say I upgraded the brakes, I have not upgraded the brakes yet, but really what I plan on doing the next time I do the brakes is I'm going to change out to a set of high performance pads and maybe change to some fluid with a higher boiling point, which should be plenty for what I'm doing. I mean, yes, if I was going to be tracking the car every weekend, then sure, I would go to slotted rotors, I would go with much bigger calipers. That's the setup as far as it looks right now, and I'm excited. I really want to show you guys how the build actually goes. I'm gonna call the shop soon and make sure they're okay with me filming in and around that area, because if they are, I'm gonna be bringing you guys tons of coverage of the turbo setup and the build. And again, this is something I really wanted to do for a long time. And I mean, it's been almost a year of ownership with this car now. Almost a year of ownership with this FRS, and I've loved every minute of it. Seriously, every minute of this nearly a year of ownership. I've put almost, let's see, the car had 15,000 miles on it when I bought it, and I've put near as makes no difference. The car is nearly up to now, near as makes no difference, 33,000 miles. So over 15,000 of my own miles on this car in less than a year. Some of you may think that's a lot, some of you may think that's not much at all. It just depends on how you drive, depends on where you drive, it depends on what you drive, really. But it's definitely been an interesting year though, because I've been able to really feel out the car as far as, you know, how it feels in, you know, daily driving setup, and then switching over to the wider wheels and tires, feeling the difference in handling there, and then also switching over to the coilovers, feeling the difference in handling there. And the nice thing about it is that it doesn't take away from the original balance of the car. I was slightly concerned that going to a staggered wheel and tire setup on much wider tires would kind of harm the balance, and it really didn't, you know? It really didn't. It improved grip, and the car's still able to get the back end around, so and it looked a hell of a lot better. So I was absolutely happy with how that setup went. It definitely totally went according to plan, for me anyway. And the nice thing about it was, after lowering on these coilovers, we're about an inch and a half down from stock, and I would say you probably have, whereas before with stock you had about that much wheel gap in the rear between the top of the tire and the bottom of the fender. Now you have about that much. You have about that much, if not that much. So it definitely helped it in the front, in the rear, and the front is like just about there. It's almost tucked. So really happy with how that came out. Very aesthetically pleasing as far as that goes, I think. And it helped performance a lot too, because the nice thing about it is it actually added in a little bit of oversteer. So it made the car still has that grippy feeling, but it's got a little bit, like just a little tad extra oversteer which kind of brings it back to where it was on the stock setup, but it's grippier mid-corner. So really, really happy with how all of this turned out, and I can't wait to basically double the horsepower. I mean, these cars put about 170 to, like 165 to 175 to the ground stock, and the plan, like I said, is about 300, 305, 310 to the wheels. So again, very happy, very excited for that. It's going to be absolutely incredible. It really, really is. And my plan is to have that ready by Import Alliance, so you guys will be able to actually come out and see that, and I'll be able to really show you guys the car and the build, and show you guys what's happening with it, and just what it looks like in person as far as that whole turbo setup. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a walk around of the car now, since I forgot to do that before in the last video. So I hope you guys bear with me on that. But and yes, I am using my GoPro, holding it in my hand, so it's not gonna be some super smooth David Patterson style video. But hey, it's a walk around with a GoPro. What are you gonna do? So let's get to it. As you can see, like I said, in the front, pretty much no wheel gap as far as that goes. I mean, a little bit of wheel gap in the back. I mean, you can do the shoe test on it, and you'll about get a shoe in there, maybe, just the tip of it, but in the front, you're not really going to get much in there. I think it definitely helped out with the stance of it. And honestly, I have no idea if you guys can hear me right now. You may be able to, you may not be able to, just depending on how much traffic there is. But and I'm kind of having to stay a little bit closer to the side of the road, but either way, it's definitely a much meatier stance in the back. I'm running, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm running about 1.3 degrees negative camber, so you can see a little bit of negative camber in the back, not a ton, nothing ridiculous, nothing Stance Nation, but still functional for sure, and really liking the setup. Obviously, this tow hook is a GoPro mount as well. Tow hook flips up, tow hook flips down. It's bolted to the frame, functional if you need it to be, but I mean, I use this here for recording pretty much all of my mountain runs now. I haven't really posted any of them with that, but definitely like using that as far as that setup goes. And yes, it's a daily driver, so it does have a rock chip right there. And I mean, what are you gonna do? It's a daily driver. But again, definitely happy with how this setup turned out. I really, really like it for sure. And actually, I haven't really shown you guys the inside of the car, other than the driver's point of view, pretty much. This is the new shift knob. Actually, it's an M-Tech drift shift knob. It's really, really nice, really, really responsive, and you basically just need a twitch movement of your hand from the wheel in order to shift. It's great. We've got our Valentine 1 radar detector, and pretty much the whole setup. I mean, it kind of needs cleaned out a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see the kind of dirt and grass on the floor there, but other than that, this is the inside of the car. There's nothing much done to the interior, but other than that, so I mean, pretty basic, but definitely liking it. So I'll see you guys back in the car.